I woke up to the bright sun pouring through our bedroom window, casting a warm glow on everything it touched. The gentle sound of waves crashing against the shore called to me, a reminder that today was the day Ethan and I had planned our little beach getaway. I couldn't help but smile as I stretched out in bed, feeling a sense of contentment wash over me. But was it really contentment, or just a comfortable routine? "Clara, are you ready?" Ethan's voice broke through my thoughts, pulling me back to the moment. "Almost." I called back, quickly getting out of bed. I slipped into my favorite swimsuit, the one that hugged my curves just right, and threw on a light sundress. As I applied sunscreen, I caught a glimpse of myself in the mirror. I looked happy, but deep down, something felt off. Was it just the thrill of the day ahead, or was it something deeper? Once we arrived at the beach, the salty breeze greeted us, filling my lungs with fresh air. I watched as Ethan set up our spot, laying out the beach towels and unpacking the cooler. His excitement was contagious, but I craved a moment alone. "Hey, I think I'll take a little walk," I said, brushing my hair behind my ear. "I need to enjoy the ocean a bit." "Sure, I'll be right here," he replied, not looking up from his task. I wandered away from our little setup, my feet sinking into the warm sand. The sound of laughter and chatter faded, replaced by the soothing rhythm of the waves. I needed this moment of solitude, a brief escape from the daily grind. As I walked along the shoreline, the water lapped at my feet, cool and refreshing against the heat of the sun. It was peaceful, but then I spotted him, a figure in the distance, casting his line into the ocean. Curiosity pulled me closer. "Hey there!" I called out, feeling a strange mix of excitement and hesitation. He turned to me, a charming smile spreading across his face. "Hello. Beautiful day for fishing, isn't it?" "It sure is," I replied, my heart racing. "Are you a local?" "Born and raised," he said, his voice smooth like the sea. "I'm Lucas." "You?" "Clara. Just here for a little beach day with my husband." Lucas nodded, his eyes sparkling with mischief. "You caught me on a good day. Want to hear some stories about the sea?" I found myself nodding, intrigued. "Sure, I'd love to." As he spoke, I was captivated by his tales of adventure, fishing in storms, the thrill of the catch, the serenity of being out on the water. Each word painted a picture in my mind, and I felt a spark within me that I hadn't felt in a long time. What was this feeling? It was as if a part of me had been asleep and was waking up, stretching its limbs and craving more. "You sound like you really love what you do," I said, my voice barely above a whisper. "I do. The ocean has a way of calling to you, doesn't it?" Lucas looked at me intently, and I felt a strange connection forming between us. "Yes, it does," I admitted, my heart fluttering. As we talked, I realized how easy it was to be drawn into his world. Lucas had a passion that seemed to ignite the air around us, and for a moment, I forgot about everything else, the beach, Ethan, my life. The chemistry between us felt tangible, electric even, and I couldn't help but wonder if I was stepping into dangerous territory. "Do you fish?" he asked, his eyes narrowing slightly as if sizing me up. "Not really. I'm more of a beach bum, I guess," I laughed nervously, trying to shake off the sudden tension. "Maybe you should give it a try," Lucas suggested, leaning closer. "You might find that you enjoy the thrill." "Maybe," I said, my mind racing. Did I want to? The thought of learning something new excited me, but the idea of stepping outside my comfort zone felt daunting. Just then, I spotted Ethan searching for me in the distance, a hint of concern on his face. Reality crashed back in, and I felt a pang of guilt. I had come here to enjoy a day with him, yet here I was, captivated by a stranger. "I should get back," I said reluctantly, glancing back at Ethan. "Of course," Lucas replied, his smile fading slightly. "But if you ever want to learn how to fish, you know where to find me." As I walked away, my heart felt heavy yet light at the same time. What was happening to me? I had come to the beach seeking tranquility, Yet I found myself tangled in a web of emotions, exciting and terrifying. I glanced back one last time, catching Lucas's gaze, and felt a stir of something deep within, something that felt like a storm brewing just beneath the surface. After my first encounter with Lucas, I found myself returning to the beach more often than I had planned. The sun would rise, casting golden rays over the ocean, and I would feel an irresistible pull to the shore. It was as if the waves were calling out to me, whispering secrets only I could hear. Each visit brought a mix of excitement and confusion, especially when Lucas was there, teaching me how to fish. Clara. Ready to learn, he would greet me with that charming smile that made my heart race. I'm ready, I would reply, trying to sound enthusiastic as I stepped into his world. He showed me how to cast the line into the water, the way his hands moved so skillfully. Just like this, Lucas said, guiding my arm with his. Feel the rhythm of the ocean. As I stood there, feeling the cool breeze on my skin, I realized that fishing wasn't just about catching fish. It was about being present and embracing the moment. Lucas made it easy to forget my worries, even if just for a little while. I often found myself reflecting on my life with Ethan during these moments. I loved him, I truly did, but there was a part of me that felt trapped in a routine. Our life together was comfortable, but comfortable felt like a cage sometimes. Are you okay? Lucas asked one day, noticing my silence as we sat on the beach after a long morning of fishing. Yeah, just thinking a lot, I replied, staring at the waves. About what? He pressed gently. About my marriage, I guess, I admitted, feeling a weight lift off my chest. Things have been, I don't know, monotonous? It's hard to explain. Lucas nodded, understanding flashing in his eyes. Sometimes we get so caught up in our routines that we forget what makes us happy. His words resonated with me. Was I forgetting? I thought about the laughs we used to share, the spontaneous adventures we would have. Yet, those moments felt distant now, overshadowed by responsibilities and predictable days. Do you ever feel like you want something more? I asked, my voice barely a whisper. Absolutely, Lucas replied, turning to face me. Life is unpredictable, and it can be scary. But that's where the magic happens, too. You have to embrace it. His passion for life ignited something inside me. I wanted to be brave, to step beyond the boundaries I had built. But with that desire came guilt. I was still married to Ethan, a man who had been my partner for years. I felt like I was betraying him with every moment I spent with Lucas. Clara? Lucas's voice broke through my thoughts. What's going on in that beautiful head of yours? I hesitated, torn between the thrill of the unknown and my loyalty to Ethan. I feel guilty sometimes. I shouldn't be here, enjoying this connection with you. Lucas's expression turned serious. I understand how you feel, but you deserve to be happy, too. Just think about it. What do you really want? His words lingered in the air, heavy with meaning. I had to confront my feelings, and I was scared. I didn't want to hurt Ethan, but I also didn't want to ignore this spark with Lucas. As the days went by, my visits to the beach became a mix of guilt and excitement. I found myself laughing more, feeling alive in a way I hadn't in years. But each time I returned home to Ethan, I felt a knot tighten in my stomach. Did you have fun at the beach today? Ethan would ask, his eyes searching mine for answers. Yeah, it was nice, I'd reply, forcing a smile. But inside, I was a storm of emotions, a whirlwind of joy and guilt battling for control. One evening, as I lay in bed, I couldn't help but replay every moment spent with Lucas in my mind. His laughter, the way he looked at me, the thrill of learning something new. It felt like I was awakening to a part of myself I had long forgotten. But with every realization came a deeper sense of conflict. What did I truly want? Was I willing to risk everything for the allure of the unknown? The questions haunted me, and as I drifted off to sleep, I knew that my heart was caught in a web of choices, each one leading me further away from the life I had built with Ethan. I was at a crossroads, and the path forward was blurred with uncertainty. The sun shone brightly on the day Ethan decided to join me at the beach. I had been looking forward to our fishing trip, but I felt a knot in my stomach when I saw him walk toward me. His expression was a mix of curiosity and concern. I knew he sensed something was different about me, and I wondered if today would be the day everything changed. "Hey, Clara. Ready to catch some fish?" Ethan asked, his voice cheerful but with an edge of uncertainty. "Yeah, of course," I replied, trying to sound enthusiastic. But inside, I felt the weight of my secret, the connection I had with Lucas, pulling at me. As we made our way to the fishing spot, I spotted Lucas on the shore. He was fixing his fishing gear, a confident grin on his face as he looked up and caught my eye. My heart raced. I quickly turned to Ethan, who was busy setting up his fishing pole. "Let's go over there," I suggested, trying to keep my voice steady. I hoped to avoid any awkwardness between Ethan and Lucas. "Sure, if that's where the fish are biting," Ethan replied, oblivious to the tension brewing underneath the surface. When we reached Lucas, he greeted us with his usual charm. "Hey, Clara. And you brought a friend?" He looked at Ethan with a friendly smile, but I could see a flicker of recognition in his eyes. "Lucas, this is my husband, Ethan," I introduced them, my voice slightly shaky. "Nice to meet you, Ethan," Lucas said, extending his hand. I watched their interaction carefully, feeling as if I were standing on a tightrope, balancing between two worlds. "Same here," Ethan replied, shaking Lucas's hand firmly. There was a moment of silence, thick with unspoken words. I felt the air grow heavy, as if the ocean itself was holding its breath. As we began fishing, I tried to focus on the waves and the sound of the water lapping against the shore. But my mind kept drifting. Lucas stood close to me, offering tips and encouragement, while Ethan fished quietly, glancing at me occasionally, searching for a connection that seemed to be slipping away. "Clara, cast your line like this," Lucas instructed, demonstrating the motion with confidence. I felt his presence beside me, the warmth radiating from him, and it sent shivers down my spine. "Like this?" I asked, mimicking his movement. I could feel Ethan's gaze on us, and it made my heart race even more. "Exactly. You got the hang of it," Lucas said, his eyes sparkling with encouragement. I caught a glimpse of Ethan's expression, a mix of confusion and suspicion. After a few minutes, Ethan broke the silence, his voice steady but with an underlying tension. "So, how do you know Clara?" he asked, his tone casual but pointed. "I grew up in this area, and I've been fishing here my whole life," Lucas replied, keeping his demeanor relaxed. "Clara is a quick learner. We've had some fun out here." I felt my heart sink. His words felt innocent, yet I could sense the brewing storm between the two men. "Fun, huh?" Ethan said, his eyes narrowing slightly. "I guess you've been teaching her more than just fishing." The air crackled with unspoken emotions. I felt trapped, caught between the man I had built a life with and the man who was awakening something I thought I had lost. "Ethan, it's not," I started, but Lucas cut in. "Hey, it's all good. Clara is just exploring something new," Lucas said, trying to ease the tension. But his attempt only made it worse. I could see the hurt in Ethan's eyes, and it tore me apart. "I didn't mean to create any problems," I said, feeling the weight of the moment pressing down on me. "Maybe you should just stick to your routine, Clara," Ethan said, the warmth in his voice replaced by a chill. "I thought we were here to enjoy the day together." "I am enjoying the day," I protested, my voice rising. "But I also want to learn about something different. I want to feel alive." Lucas stepped back slightly, sensing the storm brewing between us. "I can give you both some space," he said softly, looking between us. "No, don't go," I said quickly, panicking at the idea of losing this moment. "Lucas, please stay." Ethan's expression hardened. You want him to stay? While we're supposed to be having a day together? I felt my heart race as I faced the truth of my feelings. I was torn. My heart raced for Lucas, but my mind screamed at me to remember my vows to Ethan. I'm sorry, I didn't mean for this to happen, I stammered, feeling the weight of my choices crashing down on me. The tension between us felt unbearable. In that moment, I realized how fragile my life had become. The laughter and joy I once had with Ethan seemed distant, overshadowed by my growing connection with Lucas. As Ethan turned away, I felt a deep sadness wash over me. I had to confront my feelings, and the storm inside me was just beginning to brew. After the tense day at the beach, I found myself seeking refuge in a local bar. The salty air from the ocean still clung to my skin, but the warmth of the sun felt distant. I pushed through the door, the familiar jingling of the bell above announcing my arrival. The bar was dimly lit, a contrast to the bright day I had just left behind. I slid onto a bar stool, ordering a drink, hoping to drown out the chaos swirling in my mind. As I took a sip, I noticed a figure leaning against the wall. It was Lucas, his presence like a lighthouse in a storm. My heart skipped a beat. I hadn't expected to see him here, and suddenly, the weight of the day felt a little lighter. Clara, he said, a smile breaking across his face. I didn't think I'd find you here. Lucas, I replied, trying to sound casual, but my voice trembled slightly. I needed to get away for a bit. He stepped closer, the space between us charging with unspoken words. I saw the way things went today. It looked intense. I sighed, the sound heavy with regret. It was. Ethan was hurt. I could see it in his eyes. I looked down at my glass, swirling the drink as if it could somehow mix my emotions into something more manageable. Do you want to talk about it? Lucas offered, his voice soft and inviting. I hesitated, the guilt gnawing at me. I don't know if I should. I'm just so confused right now. I feel like I'm being pulled in two different directions. Sometimes, confusion is the first step to clarity, he said, leaning in closer. What do you really want, Clara? His question hung in the air, heavy with significance. I felt a rush of emotions, excitement, fear, and longing. I want to feel alive again, I admitted, my voice barely above a whisper. But I don't want to hurt Ethan. He deserves better. Lucas nodded, his gaze steady. It's okay to want something different. Life is too short to stay in a place that doesn't make you happy. I took a deep breath, the weight of his words sinking in. But what if I'm just being selfish? What if I regret it later? Regret is part of life, Lucas said, his eyes locking onto mine. But so is taking risks. You have to ask yourself if staying where you are is worth the pain of not knowing what could be. I felt a spark ignite within me, the thrill of possibility. You make it sound so easy. It's not easy, Clara, he said softly. It's just real. And sometimes, being real is the hardest thing to do. As he spoke, I could feel the chemistry between us flaring up again. It was intoxicating, yet terrifying. I was torn between my loyalty to Ethan and the magnetic pull I felt toward Lucas. What if I choose you, Lucas? I asked, my heart racing. What does that mean for my life? His expression softened. It means you're choosing to explore what makes you happy. It means you're willing to embrace the unknown. I felt a pang of guilt at the thought of leaving Ethan behind. But what about Ethan? He's been there for me through everything. Ethan deserves your honesty, Lucas replied gently. You can't keep living in a lie for his sake. You deserve to be true to yourself. Tears prickled at the corners of my eyes. I don't want to hurt him. I know, Lucas said, his voice soothing. But you have to figure out what you want. You can't live your life based on someone else's happiness. In that moment, I realized that my journey wasn't just about choosing between two men. It was about rediscovering who I was and what I truly wanted. The storm within me was just beginning. but now I could see a glimmer of clarity breaking through the chaos. "Thank you, Lucas," I whispered, feeling a sense of relief wash over me. "I needed this." He smiled, and for the first time in a long while, I felt a spark of hope. The storm within me was still raging, but now I could see the horizon. I was on the brink of something new, and despite the fear, I wanted to embrace it. The night had settled in, wrapping the world in a shroud of darkness. I stood in front of the mirror in my small apartment, the soft glow of the bathroom light illuminating my worried expression. My heart raced as I thought about what lay ahead. I had reached a breaking point, and I knew it was time to confront both Ethan and Lucas. The thought made my stomach twist, yet a part of me felt a strange sense of relief. I could no longer live in this limbo. I took a deep breath, steeling myself for the conversations that awaited me. I decided to meet Ethan first. We agreed to meet at the beach where we had shared so many moments, both happy and painful. The moonlight reflected off the waves, creating a serene yet eerie atmosphere. As I approached, I saw Ethan sitting on the sand, his silhouette outlined against the shimmering water. "Clara," he said softly, looking up as I approached. His expression was a mix of concern and confusion. "Hey," I replied, my voice trembling. "We need to talk." He patted the sand beside him, inviting me to sit. "I've been waiting for this. I can feel something has changed." I took a seat, the cool sand sifting between my fingers. "Ethan, I've been thinking a lot about us, about everything." My heart pounded in my chest as I gathered my thoughts. "I feel like I'm losing myself, and it scares me." His brow furrowed, and he looked at me intently. "What do you mean? Is this about Lucas?" The mention of Lucas sent a wave of anxiety through me. "Yes, it is. I've been spending time with him, and it's opened my eyes to so many things. I feel alive when I'm with him, but," I paused, trying to find the right words. "I don't want to hurt you, Ethan." Ethan sighed deeply, his eyes reflecting pain. "Clara, I can see how much you've changed. I just didn't think it would come from someone else." I nodded, tears threatening to spill. "I didn't want it to be this way. But I have to be honest with you. I have feelings for Lucas. It scares me, but it's real." Ethan's expression shifted, hurt mingling with understanding. "I wish you had told me sooner. I've sensed the distance between us, but I thought it was just a phase." "I've been confused," I admitted, feeling the weight of my choices. "I thought I could push my feelings aside, but I can't anymore. I have to choose my happiness." He looked out at the ocean, the waves crashing against the shore. "I just want you to be happy, Clara. But it's hard to hear this. I love you. I love you too, Ethan. But sometimes love isn't enough," I said softly, feeling the tears roll down my cheeks. "I need to explore what this connection with Lucas means for me." Ethan turned to me, his eyes glistening. "Do you think you'll really be happy with him? Or is it just the thrill of the unknown?" "That's the thing," I replied, my voice shaking. "I don't know. But I have to find out. I can't keep living a lie." We sat in silence for a moment, the sound of the waves filling the space between us. Finally, Ethan spoke, his voice steady but filled with sorrow. "I'll support your decision, Clara. But please, don't forget the good times we shared. You were my best friend." I nodded, my heart breaking. "I won't forget. You mean the world to me." As I stood to leave, Ethan reached out, pulling me into a tight embrace. I clung to him, feeling the love we once had wrap around us, bittersweet and familiar. "Goodbye, Ethan," I whispered, stepping back as my heart ached for the past. I took a deep breath and made my way to the dock where I knew Lucas would be. As I approached, I saw him standing at the edge, looking out at the water. The moonlight danced on his hair, and my heart skipped a beat. "Clara," he said, turning at the sound of my footsteps. "I didn't expect to see you here." "I needed to talk to you," I said, my voice steadying. "I just had a conversation with Ethan." Lucas's expression changed, a flicker of concern crossing his face. How did it go? I took a deep breath, feeling the weight of my choices. I told him everything. I chose honesty over comfort. Lucas stepped closer, his eyes searching mine. And how do you feel about that? I feel scared, but also relieved. I'm ready to embrace the unknown, I confessed, my heart racing. I want to see where this connection between us can lead. A smile broke across Lucas's face, lighting up his features. You have no idea how happy that makes me, Clara. I felt the tension in my shoulders ease as I smiled back at him. I'm ready to explore what makes me happy, and I think that starts with you. As we stood there, the waves lapping at the dock beneath us, I realized that I was no longer just choosing between two men. I was choosing to reclaim my life, my happiness, and my truth. The storm within me was calming, and for the first time, I felt a sense of peace wash over me. The sun rose over the horizon, painting the sky with hues of orange and pink. I stood on the beach, the cool sand under my feet felt comforting. Today was different. Today, I was ready to embrace my truth. I took a deep breath, letting the salty air fill my lungs. With each wave that washed over my feet, I felt lighter, as if the ocean was washing away the weight of my past. Lucas found me there, standing at the edge of the water, lost in my thoughts. He approached with a warm smile, and my heart fluttered at the sight of him. Good morning, Clara, he said, his voice smooth like the gentle waves. I was hoping to find you here. Good morning, Lucas, I replied, my smile growing wider. I needed some time to think, to really feel what I had decided. He studied me, his eyes filled with curiosity. And what have you decided? I chose to leave my old life behind, I said, my voice steady. I need to explore what makes me happy, and I think that starts with us. Lucas took a step closer, his expression shifting to one of genuine joy. You have no idea how much that means to me, Clara. I want to show you everything that life has to offer. I felt a rush of excitement at his words. I want that too. I'm ready to learn, to live, and to love fully. We walked along the shore, the waves crashing beside us. I could feel the warmth of the sun on my skin, and with each step, I felt more and more liberated. What do you want to do first? Lucas asked, glancing at me with a playful grin. Let's go fishing, I suggested, my heart racing at the thought. You promised to teach me. He laughed, a sound that made my heart soar. All right, let's catch some fish. But I hope you know, it's not just about fishing. It's about being out there, feeling the water, and embracing the adventure. As we made our way to the dock, I felt a sense of freedom I hadn't felt in a long time. The worries of my past life were fading into the distance. Lucas helped me onto the small boat, his hands steady and reassuring. Once we were out on the water, I looked around, taking in the beauty of the ocean. It's amazing out here, I said, my voice filled with wonder. Just wait until you feel the thrill of a catch, Lucas replied, his eyes sparkling with excitement. It's not just about the fish, it's about the connection with nature, the rush of the unknown. I took the fishing rod he handed me, feeling the weight of it in my hands. Okay, show me what to do, I said, ready to dive into this new experience. Lucas stood beside me, guiding my movements. Just like that. Reel it in slowly. Feel the water, Clara. It's all about being in sync with your surroundings. As I cast my line into the water, I felt a rush of anticipation. The possibility of what lay beneath the surface sent a thrill through me. What if I catch something? I asked, my heart racing. You will, Lucas smiled, his confidence infectious. And when you do, it will be exhilarating. Moments passed, and I felt a tug on my line. My heart raced as I struggled to reel it in. I think I've got something, I exclaimed, my voice filled with excitement. Keep it steady. You can do it. Lucas encouraged, standing close beside me. I focused, pulling back gently, feeling the fight of the fish on the other end. With a final tug, I pulled the fish out of the water, splashing both of us. I did it! I shouted, my laughter mixing with the sound of the waves. Lucas clapped his hands in delight. That's it! You caught your first fish! We celebrated together, the thrill of the catch igniting a spark within me. But more than that, I realized that I was not just catching fish, I was catching moments of joy, moments that reminded me of my choice to embrace life fully. As we headed back to shore, I felt a sense of peace wash over me. The journey ahead was unknown, but I was ready. I had chosen to love myself, to seek my happiness, and to dive into the adventure that awaited me with Lucas. Standing on the beach again, the waves lapping at my feet, I looked out at the horizon. I felt free to love, free to explore, and most importantly, free to be myself. This was my new dawn, and I was excited for what lay ahead. Share this story if you believe that embracing your true self can lead to incredible adventures and newfound happiness. Comment below about a moment when you chose to step outside your comfort zone and how it changed your life. Don't forget to subscribe for more inspiring stories like this one.